Okay, hi everyone. Um, like I said earlier, the, there was a public demand for me to make a video regarding immigrating through express entry. So the question is, what is express entry? Um, how do I start? What do I need to do? What is it all about? Is the easiest way to come to Canada? So many questions, right? And I kind of want to do this video just to help you to understand what express entry is all about. So this express entry actually started in January 2015. And since then, thousands of people have migrated from different countries to Canada through this express entry. And when they come into Canada, they come in to settle as Canada permanent residents, right? So they come in to settle directly as permanent residents and no stress, right? And the good thing about express entry is that when you start, you don't really spend much money. You're not paying Canada government any money. You're just doing some certain things to get your documents ready, and you get into the pool. And once you get into the pool, if you are being invited, then you can just apply. And most time, 98% of people that applied will get their permanent residence. 2% maybe issue of maybe criminal record or maybe lying on their some documents. So that is that. So let's dive into it. I'm just letting you know that in this video, for this one, I will focus more on kind of running you through, walking you through what express entry is all about, kind of showing you how express entry works. Okay, so if you look at this first page first, you look at that with express entry, you need to kind of make sure that you're eligible, and all you need to do is get your document ready and then submit your express entry profile. So once you create a profile and submit, you will wait in the pool, and once there is an invitation for you, you then apply for permanent residence. And once you uploaded all your documents and you pay your fees, when you approve, you will cross the border and you settle in Canada. So it's as simple as that. Make sure you're eligible, gather all the documents, submit your profile, then get an invitation before applying. And once you apply, you get approved, you move to Canada and you become directly permanent resident. And once you move to Canada and become permanent resident, after 3 years, you can apply for your citizenship. Okay, so let's start with how express entry works. Okay, I'm gonna just walk you through. So with express entry, there are three classes. So there is Canadian Experience class, there is Federal Skill Worker program, and there is Federal Skill Trade program. I know the question in your mind will be, what is the difference between these three? The first one is for those who already have Canadian experience. So you see students who come into Canada and then they get 3 years work permit and they work for 3 years, and they don't want to go through other ways of like provincial nominee. They can go through directly to Canadian Experience class. They get in 3 years before they apply, so they can apply for their permanent residence, right? So this is for those who have experience in Canada. This may not apply to you if you're in Nigeria. So the second one is for skilled workers with foreign work experience. So this applies to you. So if you're currently working in Nigeria and you're receiving salary, and you can prove that you're working and you're receiving salary, then this is for you. And you also went to school. This is for you, right? So you must meet the criteria of education and other factors, and which we're going to learn a little bit more on that, right? And then for Federal Skill Trade program, for this one, you have to have a valid job offer in Canada. So I shared the link about Job Bank for those like that are job opportunities there. So let's say you apply for job for somebody who have LMA approved, and then you apply for that job, you can actually use that job offer to apply for Federal Skill Trade program. So with this one, you actually don't need education, right? You don't actually need education to be able to do this one, right, for the Federal Skill Trade Program. And then if you don't have job, then you need to get a certificate. That certificate, it must be mostly, I think you need to be in Canada to actually get this, like journeyman certificate, equipment certificate. Some of them are physical, and I don't know if you can be able to get study permit to come in because of that. So just kind of giving you a heads up. But we'll learn this in details. But let me run you down again. Let me go through this again just to kind of explain it a little bit more. So there is steps, right? There are steps that you need to take. Um, First of all, you need to find out if you're eligible, right? There are two ways to find out if you're eligible for this program, right? You need to answer some few questions if you meet the eligibility requirement, and then you kind of read the details requirement for each program. So I will do another video. So please go to my timeline and look for a video regarding this. I will do a video on how to find out if you meet the minimum requirements, okay? After that, you check your score. So this program goes by what they call comprehensive ranking system. So whereby you put in all your informations, your education, your English test and everything, it will give you a score. So and that score will now determine where you will be on the poll. So this will be on your profile, and then when they do a cutoff, and you kind of will know, and maybe they will say anybody from 350 and above, they're inviting them for, and then you receive an invitation to apply, right? So your score, they have the minimum score, and then they have their, like they mentioned here, round of invitations and all that. So they use, so I will also do another video. So also look at my timeline. I'm trying to see if I can do all these three videos. So I will do the minimum requirements. I will also do the use of the CRS tool to estimate your score. So you can see how the score work. What do you need to increase your scores, right? So I will do that as well. Then you need to get your document ready, right? So there are documents that you need as well. You need to get those documents ready, and then you need to fill out your profile. So once you fill out your profile and you get invited, and then you can apply. Okay. So let's look at Federal Skill Worker Program. What you need. Okay. So for Federal Skill Worker Express Entry, the minimum requirement for you to be eligible for this is that you need to have work experience. Okay, you need to have work experience. You need to be working, and you have work experience. You need to write IELTS. Okay, you need to write IELTS. You need to write your English test, and then you need to get your education assessed. You know, most people use West Education, West Education Service. Most people use them to assess. So you need to get your English test, and you need to get your education evaluated. So credential evaluation, you need that. This is the three things you need to be eligible for this program. So literally where you will spend money is just writing the English test and then getting your education assessed. These two things is only where you will spend money. Apart from that, you're not paying Canadian government anything. And I'll tell you that most people pay like agent 9 million, 10 million just to get this information you're getting right now, because agent will still make them pay for their education. Get this information you're getting right now, because agent will still make them pay for their education assessment. Still, they will still pay for their English, but they are paying just for this information, right? So this is what you need. Okay. So I will also share this link in case if you want to look through yourself. Now, your also skill work experience need to fall into these tiles, right? Tier 0, tier 0, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And if you want to know what all this tier stands for, we can just can open this national occupation classification. This will kind of give you an idea. So if you're wondering what this tier stands for, the categories is, so management occupation, have you worked in advertising, marketing, and public relation manager, financial manager? As long as you get salary to prove this, then this count. Now, occupation that usually require a university degree, like financial advisor, software engineers, you're making money, you're making salary for this to prove that you've worked for a couple of years, then you qualify. Computer network and web technician, medical lab technologies, bakers, right? Dental assistant, dental laboratory assistant, home child care provider, retail sales person and visual, um, and then landscaping and grounds maintenance laborers, delivery service, door-to-door distributor. So if you can meet any of this tier, if you have worked in any of this, it will show you as well. So things that you can read in details to show you that you are actually qualified. And you can also search for those code here. Like you can come here and just type in banker, and it will show you your code, like NOC code, because there's a place it will ask you in future to put in like NOC code, class title, so you kind of have an idea what that is what that is all about, right? Okay, so that is when you hear these tiers, this is what it's all about. So let's go back to the previous screen. um So now with this, you kind of have an idea, and it tells you that all they need is at least 1 year of continuous work, or 1,560 hours of total 30 hours per week, right? So you need to meet 1 year minimum. So if you've worked for 1 year full-time job, you're qualified for this program. So you have degree and you've worked for 1 year, you're qualified to be in this pool. And I don't know what you're waiting for, to be honest. This is straight PR, straight to Canada, right? So if you've not done this, all you need is just your English. So the next we'll look at is language ability. So you must take a proof test in English or French, right? So you need to make sure that you do writing, reading, listening, and speaking, and then you meet all the minimum score. So the higher the score, the higher your point. So letting you know, because this is done with points. So the higher the score, um, the higher the point. And your English test must be valid, like it must be done 2 years, right? So you shouldn't pass after 2 years; it will expire. So they need that for 2 years, right? Okay. So they need that before 2 years. So you need to take it and apply. So for education, you need to have at least you need to go to school. It mustn't be Canada, to be honest. You complete your education, you just need to do your education assessment, credential assessment for immigration purpose. So you need to do that with West and make sure that it's immigration purpose. As long as you have 4 years degree in Nigeria, it doesn't matter if it's HND degree, you're good, right? So this one, you're good. So then, and then these factors will play role as well. Your age, all those stuff will play role in you getting some point. And then when you are invited, you need to have proof of fund, which I don't think is problem for some people, because I know that there's people who even do this as a business, but I don't want to go into that for now. But you need to be invited first, before you we start talking about um, proof of fund. So this is pretty much for um, eligibility to apply. So just to summarize, all you need is to work minimum of 1 year, in those tiers, right? Whether banking, software engineer, marketing, advertising, home care provider, like pretty much you qualify for this, right? And then you just take your English test, right? Um, with IELTS. I don't know how much they charge now, to maybe probably less than 100,000 to write your exam. And then you assess your education, right? Just send your transcript to West, and West will assess it. You pay them, they assess your education for immigration purposes. And then you can enter the pool. Nothing stops you from entering this pool. And wait, and you'll be surprised. Many people are invited. This is not magic. It's based on that, based on the after you when I show you the video how you calculate your score, then your score will determine. There's nothing like they don't do like, oh, we just it's not a lotto or anything, it's not luck. It's mostly based on your score. They will do a cutoff mark based on your age. If you're young, it counts, right? So to be honest, I don't know what you're waiting for. And just to also kind of give you a little bit idea on federal skill trade program, for this one, for you to, the minimum requirement is that you need to be a skill trade work experience, right? You need to have work in skill trades work experience, and then at least 2 years full-time work experience. Then you need to have a job offer from Canada. So that's why this is tricky. You need to have job offer, and then you need to write your English. For this one, you don't even need education, right? So if for people that say, "Oh, I haven't gone to school," um, for this one, you don't need to go to school. You just need to have a job offer in those skills, and then you prove that you have experience. Once you can prove that you have experience and you get a job offer, with this one, you can also get into the pool for this one, and you will be selected. So this is pretty much going through this to show you what express entry is all about. So it's not magic, right? It's not magic. All you need to do is make sure you're eligible, get the documents you need, and submit your express entry profile. And then once you're invited, you apply for permanent residence. Okay, so I hope this helps you. This kind of give you an idea of what the express entry is all about, and you know, if you're qualified for it, you are qualified, right? So go ahead and I will say start making the step and start thinking of, if you're thinking to move to Canada, this is your opportunity to go into the pool and wait while you just still work and wait, and you'll be invited. Many people coming to Canada every year. They're not better than you. It's just that either you lack the information or you've not decided to make any step, and you keep saying, "Oh, I want to move to Canada," but you're not making the step. So you have to make that decision yourself, and decide what you want to do. So anyway, I hope this helped. And so please take your time and watch the video where I will talk about the scores, how to calculate the scores, and also how to create a profile. Okay? Awesome. Thank you guys.